come on, be honest with me here. Do you think getting fitted for a driver is an absolute load of crap and you can't hit it any further? Well, in today's video, I'm going to test a fitted shaft and actually my brand new driver fitted shaft, which I'll be honest, I have never ever felt this dialed in before. Like, you've seen me try it out here at Mottram Hall. The numbers I was achieving were class. Now I'm going to put it up against an expensive shaft still, but one that I've not been fitted for. But come on, you can be honest with me right now. Let me know down below in the comments. Do you think getting fitted is just a load of crap? There, use that to get some numbers. Now, the shafts in question are these. An Oban Revenge 6 4 flex 65 grams. So number 6, 4 flex, 65 grams. Going up against, and this shaft actually has been pured. That's what that means. This shaft's been pured. And this is my current setup that I'm currently being fitted for very, very recently. And it's got a Ventus TR6X Fujikura shaft in my Taylormade Qi10 head. 10.5 degrees set to standard loft. And we are going to try them both in the same head with the same loft. Now, what we're going to be comparing here is club head speed, ball speed, overall total, and what spin numbers we get. You know, I love doing these tests out here because this is where it matters, isn't it? This is like where the driver has to perform. It's no good just inside, it's no good just on the range, it's got to perform out here. So I have chosen the 18th here at Mottram Hall. Now, if we're talking line-wise, we want to be getting that ball to be sort of just inside this bunker, would be absolutely ideal. My whole idea is hit 5 away with each shaft, compare what my current fitted driver shaft performs like against just a really expensive $260 upgrade shaft that we're just sticking in the head. That climbed a little bit into that wind, but a really good shot. Now, I'm going to say one thing, that first one I hit away, these numbers are not going to flatter me. It is cold, it is into the wind, but it's the same conditions for both. This feels a real challenge, this hole, you know. Into the wind. I feel like I've got to play a different drive. Might have to sort of try and take some spin off that. Okay, ball 2. Whoa. You see that? I love hitting this driver. I keep saying it, every time I hit it, I feel I can't hit this one left. Get that again. Draw it into the left side. My first 3 away there with my fitted shaft, pretty much what I'd expect. But I'm going to tell you one thing right now. Because that wind, and you can tell this because of my hair, it is trying to get the ball to spin a little more. So the spin's a little higher than I would normally want, but I'm trying to knock it down a little bit. But I'm going to do the exact same when I get the non-fitted shaft in here. Okay, we've got 2 more to go, and then we're going to go through the averages with my fitted beauty. I just hope it comes across on video how much I love this club. I don't know what to say. That I'd take that drive every time. Look at this number. Now, I'll be perfectly honest. This is the best numbers that I have had today in these conditions. 285 yard total, 165.6 ball speed, 112 club head speed, and around 2.4 spin. I just got that like better than I could even imagine. But you know what? This all comes to the question, right? Because I'm going to be trying that shaft that I've not been fitted for. Yes, it's expensive. I'm actually nervous because I feel so confident about mine right now. If that was to beat it, anyway, I want you to let me know, again, if you've not already, let me know what you think is going to happen right here. Now, if you watched that first video I did with this driver on the golf course, you will know that I was getting used to teeing it higher. I'm experimenting a little bit here, and it's going a little bit lower. I just feel I can keep it out the wind a little bit more. Okay, final ball away with my fully fitted driver. Look at that flight. That into wind is what you want to see. Now, the averages are in. That last shot had a 164.9 ball speed, and this just shows you like how like windy it is. Went 265. Like, I am well and truly happy with that ball speed. So let's run through the averages of what I have currently in my brand new fitted driver. I'm over the moon with these considering the conditions. Average club head speed, 111, okay. We did have a couple at 112 in there. Average ball speed, 163, and average total, 267. Now bear in mind I said it's a little bit into the wind, that spin was averaging just under 3,000. But this is what I'm going to be putting it up against now. So run through those averages again. Average club, 111, average ball, 163, average total, 267. This is going to be interesting. How's this going to go? Right, let's take this out of here and get this other shaft in. Now interestingly, before we go away, I want to just talk you through the slight differences in this shaft. So the shaft that I'm using right now is sort of an extra stiff shaft. It's softer in the tip, really firm in this grip end. And you can see that this shaft is pured, as I said earlier. Now this Oban Revenge shaft is like soft in the tip, stiff in the middle, and softer at the top. You'll also notice if I hold these up against each other, they are slightly different in length. But my question is, I've done this before. I've used shorter shafts before and I've found the middle more often. So will that help me increase ball speed? Will that help me increase how far this ball goes? Well, I guess it's time to put it to the test. Right, okay, let's get this set up exactly the same on standard loft. Clicker in, and we're gonna hit 5 shots away again. I liked how with my fitted driver there, after the first few, I learned to sort of tee it a little bit lower, hit that low ball flight. Right, okay, this is all set up. Ooh, it feels shorter. I feel like I'm really close to it. Just to show you here, I've got that set on 10.5 degrees. Also, when I was getting fitted for my driver shaft, it was a real good discussion around what I wanted from it. Now, the reason why we went for a little bit of an extra stiff shaft and a softer tip was for a couple of reasons. The extra stiff stopped me actually missing this way off to the left. I hate that left shot. And generally, if you go for a shaft that is stiffer, it makes the ball finish more up the right wing. And that slightly sort of softer tip allows me to launch that ball much better. Now, I just said I liked how I could play around with that ball flight on those last few balls. How's this gonna go? Remember, this is $260. Tell you what, this looks really cool. You know, with the green, that sort of black and white grip into the black head and the blue face. Right, 5 away. Let's go through the averages. Let's see how these perform. That's gone higher. I'm trying to hit that low. That's gone higher. Oh, that could be short. That could be short. But let's have a look at these numbers. So for my first one away, 260 yard total. Not bad. Remember our averages. 156 ball speed. Now that is a lot less. 110 club head speed and a lot more spin. Well, that carries quite a way short as well, isn't it? So first one, off the gun. Now remember what I said about this shaft. It's soft at the top, stiff in the middle and soft at the bottom. That could cause me to get a little bit more spin. I'm gonna try again really hard like I did with my shaft to play these lower. Now remember, this is not fitted for me. It's just a really expensive $260 shaft. It's time to go for ball number 2. I'm gonna literally try and play these the same. Gone a little bit lower on the T-peg just on that previous one and see if this one comes out a little bit lower again. A little bit spinny, that one. Lower, a little bit left. Certainly lower. That's missed left semi, that. That's missed left semi. So, if I'm looking at the numbers on that last shot just there, finished just off the left-hand side of the fairway. Bear in mind, all mine were on the fairway. Okay, 249 yards total, not ridiculously short of what I was hitting before. We then had a 160.9 ball speed. Hello, this is higher. Now, this is going to be interesting. 108 club head speed, lower. Remember, we averaged like 111 with my fitted one, and 2,800 spin. So it's not a million miles away after the first 2. With 3 good ones, it could overtake it, which it can't do. I mean, it can't do. Now, it's no surprise that club head speed's a little bit lower. The shaft's a little shorter. Ball speed, though, is right in that ball mark with 3 good ones. Let's see. I love this length of this. And what I get is the difference between, I guess, this shaft and my shaft is I do feel at the top it's a little bit softer in this grip end. Not something I like. Oh, that's high and right. That was ripped. Again, it's a lot higher when I'm still trying to keep it low. That was hit seriously good. I'm finding it, because this is a little softer in the tip, I'm finding it, I don't know where that head is. And going back to the question is, should you get fitted? Is it a load of crap? Whether it's almost placebo, but what I get is that feeling in that shaft, which has been honed into me, that feeling that I know where the head is. It doesn't feel soft at the wrong point. Obviously, this is all relative to you as a person. That was ripped. That was that low, baby. Just finishing left half. They do feel a little bit all over the place, but that was ripped. So the averages are in. How did this go up against this? I've just done some really big mathematical calculations and we've worked this out. So just to give you sort of a ballpark idea, we had a 110 clubhead speed, a 108 clubhead speed in there. We also had a 161 ball speed, which you saw, and we had as long as a 264 total. So just to give you a reminder, the averages of my fitted shaft, this one here, was 111 club speed. Now, this compared to the Oban Revenge at 109. So we had a 2 mile an hour difference there. The average ball speed I achieved in my fitted shaft was 163, up against a 159 in the Oban, and finally, the average total. In my fitted shaft, I averaged 267. In the Oban, 259. Both were spinning very, very similar, just under that 3,000 mark on average. But one thing I want to reiterate here is that Oban, even though it's an expensive shaft, it's a stiff shaft, I felt like I was a little bit wayward, left, right. And it comes back to that point. I feel comfortable, I feel confident in the shaft that I've been fitted for, hence why I know what it does. Whereas that, even though it's expensive, even though it's a stiff shaft, it's just not quite right for me. And think about this logically. It's a shorter shaft, so that should give me more control, but it didn't. I saw less clubhead speed, less ball speed, and less overall total. Now, that's just what I found. But you could argue, right? In fact, let's just finish it here because I want you to say, have you ever been fitted yourself and you've come out and you're like, that ain't right? I'd love to know. Don't name where you've been, but can you see the importance of a good fitting? Not just a fitting in general, a really good fitting.